Hello.
Hi, Mario.
Oh, you see, Abe gave it to me a video about
About what?
trailers, the blue thread,
Oh, tchelas.
and it's in the WhatsApp group. It's very interesting. It's given by a rabbi in Houston, of all places.
I'll take a look at it. We are on 44,
Mm-hmm.
Mem Daled. Tana Rabbanon, Chilazon Zehu, this snail, Gufo Dom Eliyam, its body is, I guess, blue. It's the same as the ocean. Uvrioso Dom Eladag, it's shaped like a fish. V'oile Echad L'Shivim Shana. They catch it all the time, but once every 70 years, it's like there's a whole pile of it that comes onto the land. With its blood, that's what they use to dye the tchelas. It's so rare that it's expensive.
But the blood is blue? It must be, no?
This must have a blue tinge, yes?
Hmm.
Well, our blood, the venous blood, is blue too.
Yeah.
The arterial blood, which goes to the heart, which is pumped to the lungs, becomes red through oxygen. And then as the oxygen
Oh.
moves, it's also bluer. That's why you look at your veins, it has a blue color.
Mm-hmm.
Tanya Rab Nosson, Enecha kol mitzvah kalasha ksuva b'toira, she'en matan schar b'olam hazeh l'olam haba. We don't have even a very mild mitzvah in the Torah. Every mitzvah, there's a reward both in olam haba and in this world, and any of their kama. The olam haba reward, we don't know what it is. And Rav Nosson learns, we're on Mem Dalet. Seil umad b'mitzvahs tzitzis. Ma'aseh b'dom echad she'ezar b'mitzvahs tzitzis. He's very careful with tzitzis. There was a famous prostitute that lived in one of the coastal cities that her payment was 400 golden coins. He paid cash in advance and he scheduled a date. The date came, he sat on the doorway. The maidservant who opens the door went to tell the madam of the house, also Adam this guy who had pre-wired you 400 golden dinner is sitting at the front door. So the Zona said, okay, invite him in. Nichnas, he came in. Hitzialo Sheva Mitos. She prepared 7 beds. Sheish Kesef Achal Zav. 6 of silver and the 7th of gold. They were one on top of another, and there was a silver ladder going upwards. The top ladder was a golden ladder. Also, v'yoshva gabi elyon k'shiaruma. She sat on the uppermost bed, not wearing any clothes. Vafu ala leishevorim kenegda. And he also took off his clothes and went to the top. Bau arba tzitzoytzav v'tapchol aponav. His tzitzis slapped him in his face. Nishmat v'yashav lo gabi kark. He fell all the way down to the ground. Vafi nishmat v'yashav gabi karka. She also went to the ground. Armelo gapa shel roimi. Like, he took an oath. Sheini manicheschat shetermelo mamum reisi. But why? What blemish did you see in me that you didn't want to consort with me? You're the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. Ella, mitzvah achas sivan Hashem Elokeinu. We have a mitzvah, v'tzitzis shma. Uksiv b'ani Hashem Elokechem, shtei pamim. Ani hu she'osid li para. I am destined to take revenge against those who went against my teachings. And I, in the future, will give reward for people who were makayim, the proper things. The four tzitzis were like four witnesses that would serve in the Bezdin Shalmala to testify about the sin, about the Avera he was going to do. Amr lo, Eini manichachat shetarmelocha yircha. I'm not going to leave you alone unless you tell me where you're from, what city you're from. Mashem Rabcha, who's your Rebbe? Umashem midrashcha shetalami bar. Where is your yeshiva that you study Torah? Kosav and Osam, he wrote down all of this contact information. Amta v'chilka kol nechaseha. She gave away all of her possessions. Shlish l'malchus. She gave away to the government. She was planning to convert to Judaism. She didn't want any problem, so she smoothed her way by bribing the government. Shlish laniyim. She gave the other third to poor people. Again, she wanted to have a successful gerus. Ushlish not labiyah. She took the remaining third. Chutz me'osa matzos. Now the blankets and the linens that she had prepared. Apparently, it's not the bed, but the linens that she took with her. Ubasla based midrash Reb Chia. Reb Chia was a Talmud of Rebbe, and this was, I guess, the Rebbe of this Talmud. Amar Rebbe Tziva Lavi Asuni Gioires. Make me a convert. Amar Labiti Shema Ein Chonasata Bechban Talmidim. I'm not going to convert you. Maybe you fell in love with one of the students. We're not allowed to convert people based on love. She had written down this whole story, and it showed that she was converting l'shem shamayim. Rav Chia gave her the right. Go and marry the Talmud. And also these beddings that initially were going to be used for Isser are going to be used beheter now. And that's an example, says Rav Nosson. That's reward even in this world. I can't even describe the reward in Olam Haba. If you borrow a garment, it doesn't need tzitzis for 30 days. Beyond that, it needs it. Let's say you're living in a hotel. So you rent a house outside of Israel. You're partnered from mezuzah for 30 days. After that, you're chayiv mezuzah. Even renting in Eretz Yisrael, you have to put up a mezuzah right away. Mishum Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. It's part of the mitzvah of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. Tefillah shel yad eina ma'akeves. We said the two tefillins are not ma'akev. That l'chura, if you only have tefillin shel yad, you put that on. If you only have tefillin shel rosh, you put that on. Rav Chizda, lo yishonu ela sheyesh lo. We said that this is not ma'akev in a case where you have both tefillin. And he only put one of them. So then he fulfilled one mitzvah. Aval ein lo ma'akeves. But if he only has one pair of tefillah, then you don't put it on. Amrlo Amrit, that doesn't make any sense. Why shouldn't you get at least one mitzvah of putting it on? Amrlo lo. Elaman de less late trey mitzvah chad mitzvah nami l'leivit. What, because you don't have two, you're not going to do one? So he retracted. So why did he initially think to paskin that way? Mikar my sovar. Gzeira shema yivsha. If he only has one tefillin, and he puts it on, he gets reward for it, he's not going to be that motivated to go and buy another pair of tefillin for their zed. So it's a gzeira that he'll be negligent. Rav Sheshes. Kol she'ena maniach tefillin, oiver b'shmona asay. Who doesn't put on tefillin, you have violated 8 assays. Because it says you have to put it on your arm and between your eyes, and it's 4 partios, so it's 8. Whoever doesn't put on tzitzis, because it says 5 times the mitzvah of tzitzis in the Torah. A kohen who doesn't go up to be Mavarech Klal Yisrael, oiver b'shloisha asay. He violates 3 assays. Because there's 3 brachas. Kol she'en mezuzah b'pischo, who doesn't ever have a mezuzah. So oiver b'shnei asay. Uksav tem twice. Amrei Shlakish, kol aminiach tefillin marich yomim. Tefillin is a school for long life. Shenemar, Adoshem alayim yichyu l'chol ben chaye ruchi v'tachlimi v'chayeni. If you carry the name of Hashem, then you will have longer life. Mishnah. Hasoiles v'Hashem ein makvin sayayin. We would bring mincha. We would bring a mincha nesachim, wine libation, which was flour and oil and wine, which were brought along with various animal korbanos. So if you brought the flour, if you didn't bring the flour and the shemen, you could still pour the wine. V'lo hayayin me'akvan, and if you didn't bring the wine, you could still use the flour and the oil. Hamaton shlam mizbeach hachitzon ein ma'akvan zuetzu. Every korban had a different din. How many blood applications you're supposed to put? The chatas you're supposed to put all 4. The ola 2. The other one. So no matter what, even if you only put 1 application of blood, you have atonement. Ton Rabbana. It says umin chasam v'niskeyam. These are the minchas, the musaf, and you have to bring a minchas nesachim, which is a mincha and the sachim. And mincha is mentioned first. Have mincha v'achar kach have nesachim. So the ikar is the flour, then the wine. Rabbi Omer, zevach unsachim dvar yom b'yomo. So it's zevach and the pouring, which implies have zevach v'achar kach have nesachim. First bring the korban, then bring the mincha. The Rebbe Nami Haksivu Minchas Niskem. There also it says Mincha first. Hahumabala Minchas Niskem Balayla. That the Mincha could be brought, even though Shechita of the Korban has to be done in the daytime. The Mincha Nesachim could be brought even at night, even the next day. What do they do with that? The flour and oil and the wine are not fit to be put on the mizbech until you do shchitas of the animal. Rabbi Nami Maboy Lechlu Ziri. So Rabbi needs this halacha too. They need the din that mincha can be applied at night, and the din of a minchas miskem afilu lemachar. So, elhainu tamay drabana dechsiv ola umincha. So first you do the ola, then the flour, and then you pour the wine. The Rabbi Nami haksiv ola umincha. What do they do with that? Ela b'boyim azevach tekulam lo pligi. There are two types of minchas nesachim. Some that go along with the animal, and some that you bring on its own. Those that come with the animal, you do mincha v'achakach nesachim. First the animal is sacrificed, then you do the flour, and then the wine. Taksiv olo mincha. Ki pligi b'boin b'fnei atzma. When you bring a minchas nesachim by itself, Rabbanan, and let's say you bring it a few days after you brought the animal. Mideboin azevach. When you bring it with the animal, then it's mincha v'achach nesachim. But b'fnei atzma nami, mincha v'achach nesachim. That's the chachamim. That's the machlokas. They say you still bring the mincha first. Rabbi hasamu da'adi askel b'achila. When it comes along with the animal, which is also the kohanim eat the animal, so you put the mincha, which is also eaten. The wine is poured. But when it doesn't come with the edible korban, when you bring it on its own, the Leviim sing their song when the wine is poured. So that's on a higher level. Hamatonois, that you get away with even one matana. Even if you're required to put 4 or 2, one is suffices. Now, the musaf, besides the daily ola, the musaf were additional korbanos, and that was you brought parim, elim, v'kvasim. So when you brought all 3, Ein Hamakin said so. If you didn't bring one species, it doesn't prevent you from bringing the others. Reb Shimon says, Im hayu lahem porim merubim. Let's say that the Kohanim could buy a lot of porim, but with that money, lo haylam nesachim. There wasn't enough to get the wines that go along with those bulls. So then Yavi Parechad Unesachim, then you should only buy one part with its appropriate wine, Veloikravu Kulam Below Nesachim, and not offer the many animals without its appropriate wine libations. Now, when we talk about these musafim, Hani Par Mechvosim Dehecha, when the Ilem at the Chag, we're talking about Sukkos, it says Kamishpat Ksiv Behu, which implies that there's ma'akev if you don't bring it. You got to bring each one. Elad Rosh Chodesh, Vatzeres Techumash Apkudim. We're talking about the Purim and the Kvasim that are brought on Rosh Chodesh and Shavuos. We'll go into this a little bit more in detail tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll learn at 7 o'clock. Okay?
Okay.
Very good, everybody.
Shkoyach.